If you really want to see how liberals think, go watch The West Wing. Or you know what? You know what?
I think Sitch actually likes The West Wing. I think he watches that regularly. I'm not a big TV watcher. I never really have been. So I just haven't really seen The West Wing.
You know what else you can, because a lot of you haven't watched The West Wing. Have you ever watched Parks and Recreation?
Now, Parks and Recreation, I've watched a lot of Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is hilarious.
Imagine Leslie Knope taken out of her universe and put into ours. Imagine how dejected and impotent and weak she would be, constantly being tread upon by people who don't give a shit about her or humans in general. That's what, like, the liberal is. The best liberal is a well-intentioned, pure-minded weakling in a world of lions. That's what they are. That's the best of them. The best of them, virtuous people who do not know the game that they are playing, who don't understand the world that they're in.
See, this comes off as so disingenuous when you think of it in the context of Vaush saying things like, I love democracy so much that I want democracy in the workplace, because the implied understanding there is that democracy works, that he has faith in democracy, he has faith in democratic ideals. But then right here, he's saying, oh, liberals are totally, naive about the real world, and democracy can't work. Democracy doesn't work. And we have to be ready for that. Liberals have drank the Kool-Aid on believing democracy, on having any kind of faith in democracy or the democratic process. Those two ideas are completely contradictory. So is Vaush, pick one, Vaush. Do you want to give up your democracy in the workplace? You want to give up your worker co-ops, your signature program, the program that you're always raving about? Or do you want to give up the idea that democracy doesn't work? Which one is it? One of those has to go. Please stop being contradictory on the internet.
Of course, this is a varying thing. There are liberals who are fully aware of the threat of fascism. This is obviously sort of a gradient. I'm talking about
the threat of fascism, I think, is very, very real. I think the problem that I have with people on the left and leftists in general is that they emboldened the fascists. Everything Vaush does plays into the giving the fascists more power, more political power. You're basically throwing your credibility away in the political realm. And that, not only that, you're creating a system where the darkest elements on the right are going to be against society. They're going to be emboldened to do radical things that are not healthy for any of us. So stop provoking fascists is the lesson here.
Pure liberal right now, the archetypical liberal, the platonic liberal. It doesn't make them an ally to fascism. Not always, at least. It doesn't make them a bad person either. It just means that they aren't really aware of the nature of power. They aren't really aware of the stakes at hand. They have too much faith in the institutions, too much trust in the historical inevitability of the prevalence of the civil and the decent and the noble-hearted. Some of them...
See, that completely false from where I sit. Maybe some liberals have that naivete. I feel I have a very strong understanding of power, how power works. One of the reasons why I'm so against wokeness is because I do feel like it elevates this kind of nastiness that I think can create a situation where more fascist elements in society are emboldened to act just as nasty as the woke people act. And that's a very real thing. But I guess Vaush would respond by saying, we have to get nasty before they get nasty. Why? Why do we have to get nasty? Why can't we just be chill?
Socialists are far closer to fascist than liberals are.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Socialists and fascists are more like socialists have more in common with fascists than socialists have in common with liberals.
Yes, big time.
They both believe in group rights over individual rights. They both believe the state should dictate all moral and economic questions.
Yeah.
They both believe in a very strong centralized authority. They're both anti-individual property rights. They're both, and I said already, they're both anti-individual rights. They both believe a clear good-evil dichotomy with constant fear of subversion to justify
that's a good one.
Like government squelching people. So, this whole, that's why I'm glad, I brought this up last stream when we were talking about the history of the USSR. We've allowed, for no fucking reason, we've allowed the commies to pick up this narrative that it's the commies that always fight the fascists. It's the commies. This is a total lie. This is a 100% lie. You know who it is that fights the actual fascists?
The liberals.
It's the liberals.
Yeah.
You know what the communists did when the Nazis invaded? Do you know what the communists did, Adam, when the Nazis invaded?
They helped them.
They said, yes, please.
Yes, they did.
They said, oh, the Nazis are invading? Well, let's join forces with the fucking Nazis. The commies literally joined forces with the Nazis to invade Europe. Yep. So don't give me this bullshit. It is the commies are the only ones fighting the fascists. Bullshit. It's the liberals that are fighting the fascists. You guys are fucking liars and you're stolen valor.
Yeah.
The only reason that the commies and the fascists even fought was because the fascists, shock, surprise, betrayed the commies. Oh, who could have possibly predicted this?
Yeah. And Vaush was saying that liberals don't understand how power works.
I know.
Yet, I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of how power works. I brought this up too. After World War II shook out and the commies took Eastern Europe and the liberals took Western Europe, what happened? What happened there? Western Europe thrived and Eastern Europe stagnated. Yeah.
Yep. Because what did the commies do? They sucked all the resources out of Germany that they could, and they shipped them back to
East Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, even it goes on to this day. Right now, Ukraine is like, please no, we want to go with the cool people. We want to go with Western Europe, right? We don't want to be with the Eastern Europe people. And Russia's like, no, you're Eastern European.
I mean, looking at Berlin and Germany is a good example because not only did the West and Europe want to build up West Germany because they wanted to prevent World War III from occurring, but also because under capitalism and under liberalism, they're both incentivized to create strong, stable trading partners and strong, stable countries for economic reasons. Under communism, there's no financial incentive whatsoever for them to build up East Germany at all. Zero. Right. And guess what? They fucking didn't.
Of course. Incentives matter.
Yep. No, they're going to do it out of the kindness of their heart. Okay.
No, that doesn't happen. But listen, liberals are the naive ones, okay?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, we've only had strong, stable, liberal governments that have produced the best outcomes in all of human history and the strongest, most powerful countries in all of human history. And all the communist countries all fall into authoritarian nonsense, garbage, and fall apart. But liberals are the naive ones.
Yeah, of course.
Because this time Communism will work. I bet you. I promise you, this time will be different.
Sitch, you
Listen
just
to
don't
me.
understand how power works, okay?
Oh, okay.
You're so naive.
Right.
The fascists are going to take advantage of you. It's all about the fascists.
I know. Vaush is like he's like a character out of a Greek play. Okay. The fates come down and
Democracy.
they're like, Vaush, you have to be careful because in your future we see fascism. He goes, oh no. And so he spends all this time trying to fight the fascism. But his actions of quote unquote trying to fight the fascism is what creates the fascist
creating
in the
it, yeah.
future. Yes.
That's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Right.
We're stuck in a Terminator script here.
Yeah.
It's very sad because you can't get through to him. He doesn't understand the basic dynamics that are going on here. And he also, I mean, he's talking about fighting for rights. Well, the rights that he's fighting for are just, he doesn't understand the ramifications of those rights. Like you could conceive of Vaush fighting, like they want CRT in the classroom. They want, gender ideology to be taught to kindergartners. Like those are the rights that he's fighting for. Those are the rights that are going to provoke the shit out of people. That are going to activate anyone who has any kind of authoritarian tendency. And I mean, I've read some studies that say it's as much as 30% of the population. You're just activating those people. Those people are going to say, oh yeah, well, I'm voting for the next fucking tyrant that's going to just, clear you guys out of here.
Right. Exactly.
This is the thing that literally brought Hitler to power. It's fucking nonsense. God, it's so evil.
Well, but I mean, that's the problem is that, through all the veneer of logic and reason, I mean, he's all just working backwards from what fits his ideology, what he wants to be true.
Yeah.